Hi everyone, Danny here today, once again on break at my favorite dairy farm. Not quite the nice sunny day that I had last time, and it's a little later, so the sun's starting to go down behind those clouds, but it'll provide some pretty background. Today I am wanting to talk to you about Keith Cameron Smith's book, The Top 10 Distinctions Between Whiners and Whiners. This is part of a series of books put out by Keith Cameron Smith that all list the top 10 distinctions between. The top 10 distinctions between millionaires and the middle class. The top 10 distinctions between warriors and warriors. This one is the top 10 distinctions between winners and whiners. And as he says in the beginning, he picked whiners instead of losers, because he believes that whining is the number one distinction between winners and losers. I also think it's because the title, The Top 10 Distinctions Between Winners and Whiners, sounds cooler than The Top 10 Distinctions Between Winners and Losers. Right? Millionaires, middle class, there's a rhyme to his titles, and this fits with it. I own 3, I believe, of his books in print. This is the only one that I own the audio version of, and that would be because I got the print versions first and it went on sale at audio and I snapped it up. These are good books to read and to listen to multiple times, whether you agree with his distinctions, as far as I don't think that's one of the top 10 distinctions, or I don't even think that's a distinction between a winner and a loser. They all deal with attitudes and habits, and I think most people would agree that the habit that he says encompasses a whiner is not a habit that you would want to have. You would rather have the habit that encompasses a winner. So they're good to go through, to listen to, and to think, how does that apply to me? Does that apply to me? The nice thing is they're broken into these nice 10, actually I think it's 11 chapters, because you've got the introduction to the book, so these nice 11 chapters. It's not a big book. It's not a big audio book. The chapters for me, I've got a 20-30 minute commute. The chapters are just about the right length for me to listen to on the way into work, turn it off at the end of the chapter, and have time to think about it on the way to work. Works beautifully for that. As he says in the beginning of the book, he has listed these in his order of importance. So he starts with what he believes to be the least important, the 10th distinction, and works his way up to what he believes is the most important, the number one distinction. And he says to feel free, if you want to skip around and go from this chapter to that chapter because you think it's more vital to you, feel free, have at it. A little harder to do in the audio version. You can do it, but not something you'd want to be doing as you're driving down the road, taking your eyes off the road for that long. Don't do that. If you want to listen to a particular chapter, make sure you got it set up ahead of time. Me, I just start at the beginning, go one chapter through. The narrator's a good narrator. There's not a lot you can do with the book other than make sure that your voice isn't monotone and isn't boring, and his voice is not. He's got good inflection to his voice. He does a really good job of narrating the book. It's a clean book. If you know anything about Keith Cameron Smith, his own moral code would prevent him from putting swear words into his book. It would prevent him from putting adult scenarios into his books. So you can feel perfectly free to put this on and listen to it with your kids in the car. It might even be a really good idea. It might bring up some really good discussions from your kids going, Mom, Dad, wait a minute. What does that mean? Am I like that? And well, you're not, but your friend Charlie's like that. And when your friend Charlie is behaving like that, do you enjoy being around him? No, Mom and Dad, when Charlie's like that, I want to leave. I don't want to play with him anymore. So then you don't want to be like that, do you? You want to be like the other side of the coin. And it can bring up some really good conversations between you and your kids. And it's clean, it's safe, it gives you stuff to think about. Some of the chapters with the titles Might fool you a little bit to where you go, well, that's stupid. I don't need to listen to that. Listen to it. Don't blow it off because the title throws you. One of the chapters is, and I don't remember which distinction it is, but winners can have what they want and whiners want what they can't have. And if you just look at that at face value, well, duh, winners can have what they want. That's what makes them a winner. I want to be a professional football player. They became a professional football player. If they weren't able to get what they want, then they would no longer be a winner, would they? So, that's it. Listen to the chapter. It goes much deeper than that. There is a method to it. It's not just that winners can have what they want. It's how winners go about getting what they want versus sitting back and whining and going, oh man, I can't do that. I just so want to, but I can't. It's an attitude thing. I love books like this. Like I said, there will be a subject brought up that I'll go, that is me. That is so totally me, and I don't want that to be me. I need to change that, and I need to change that now. And for a period of time, I'll be focused on it. But then life interferes. You get distracted. It's a habit. So as with any habit, it can come back. And then you listen to the book 6 months, a year down the road, or you listen to another book of the same genre that brings that subject back to your mind, and you go, you know what? I need to go back to paying attention to that. I need to focus on that some more. I want to fix that. And you work on it. There are habits, there are thought processes that are so deeply ingrained, you can't just, I'm going to change that and change it. I'm not an alcoholic. To the best of my knowledge, I have no family members or friends that are alcoholics. If they are, they've kept it from me. But my understanding of the way alcoholism works is that every single day you get up determined to fight your alcoholism. And the day that you don't get up determined to fight and to change is the day you lose. And these thought habits can be like that, to where you've got to be constantly, daily reminding yourself, hey, I don't like this part of me. I want to change this part of me. I want to become a better person than who that is. And if you don't constantly remind yourself, constantly bring it to mind, you're never going to change it. If you don't listen to books like this that bring it to your attention, you may go your entire life being completely unaware. Self-deception is rampant. I got news for you. Every single one of us deceives ourselves at some point in time in our life. I have self-deception, areas in my life where I have deceived myself, where I am not as unbelievably amazing and incredible as I think I am, because, who wouldn't want to be me? Come on, look, this is awesome being me, and I have deceived myself into believing that everybody wants to be me. Why wouldn't you, right? We all have self-deception. And if you can take a book like this, and you can honestly even, go to people that care about you enough to give you some tactful, honest feedback and say, hey, I've been reading about this and I'm wondering, do I act like that sometimes? Get the honest feedback. Then you can root out those areas that you don't like. And you can change those areas, and you can stop deceiving yourself and actually become the person you want to be. I hope you all have a wonderful day, and I will talk to you next time.